Hey everyone, welcome to my studio. All right, this week I want to make some good progress on this mosaic. I'll probably be working on the tree and maybe some of this area. And my deadline's not going anywhere on this project, so I need to get more finished on it. I'm also wondering how I am going to, typically I would flip this and then flip it again, but I didn't put a board under this. So at some point I'm going to have to lift it up and put a board underneath it so that I can flip it and then install it. I also have the mandala project, which these are just the templates that I used. I don't have that here in my studio. It's at the location where we're going to be installing it, which is Spool Center for the Arts. I will be going there tomorrow and I'm going to start the grouting process. So I'll cover that tomorrow. But these original templates that I cut out, I believe I am going to use them to decide the placement on the wall. This is a lot easier to maneuver than the actual mosaic, so we can try some different placements of the mandalas on the wall and see which one we like. I'm not going to install it this week, but working on the grouting and saving these for the installation. Planning on grouting, starting to grout all these mandalas. And let me show you what I'm dealing with first though. Because this was a project where we had a lot of people with no experience working on it, and it's an exterior project, I was using silicone, we all use silicone glue, and I provided wipes to keep it as clean as possible and told people they needed to keep as clean as possible. But of course, the silicone can be quite messy to work with, and so a lot of these pieces have silicone residue on there, which doesn't seem so bad right now because it is clear, but I believe that the grout will stick to it when we go to grout it. So we are trying to clean it up as much as possible first. And I'm using acetone, elbow grease, and razor blades to scrape it off. Hoping to get started on the grouting today, but I want to clean it up as much as possible first. I bought a new bag of this charcoal grout from Home Depot, and this one is not just the Poly Blend, it is Poly Blend Plus, and so it's supposed to be an improved type of grout, and so I thought I would try it on this project. So I have some time this morning and I am going to start working on this, or am I? I got so distracted over here. I started making this pumpkin and I need to stop working on this and stop being so distracted and focus on the project at hand over there. And then I thought that this would actually be a good project. When I was grouting the first mandala yesterday, I had to wait around a long time for the grout to haze over. So it'd be nice to bring something like this to work on while that is happening today, because I'm going to go and grout the second one. So I'm going to save this for later. I'll get to work on it, but later. And these pieces were all left over from a project I did in 2019. Anyway, so I already had these in a bag and I thought that'd make a pretty pumpkin. So I'm doing a sort of neutrally one. It may actually be the end of summer, but look at the weather today. It's very fally and the leaves are actually falling. So that's why I've got pumpkin fever, I think. Anyway, enough about my distractions. I wanted to point out that the beach down here is a little bit warmer in color, but as it moves up and it's more wet, it becomes darker and more gray, and the water is pretty gray. If I look at my reference photo, it does darken up and there's a distinct line here before the gray haze of the sky starts, a little bit lighter. And it's a little bit bluer here. And I'm going to try to pull in some of the colors from the palette, which also include purple. So even though my reference photo doesn't have purple, I have put some purple in the foliage, the darker areas, and maybe I'll put some of that dark purple in here. But I have some lighter purple, some more misty color purple, I guess, and I will be putting it in some of the water areas if I can. That did not go nearly as smooth as I would have liked. All these pieces came loose when I moved it. The main problem was this tape that I put the shelf paper on the base with so that it wouldn't move. When I tried to peel it up, it was very strong and it stuck to the base and then pieces came loose. But once I got all that off and moved it, I just have a few pieces that are loose. I'll stick them back on and I'll be good to go. All right, I got that all fixed, so that's a relief. This mosaic against a wall, and I don't want any bit of white showing, so I'm just putting by hand grout in that little crack to cover that white bit so none of it shows when we mount it on the wall. All the way around. piecing these two lovely little pumpkins, and I'm going to grout it, but I thought I'd demonstrate how I mix the grout. So for a small project like this, I start with a clear plastic cup, and using a clear cup allows me to make sure that the bottom, all of the grout gets mixed in. And I'm using sanded grout in a linen color. It's available in these small containers from Home Depot, and also big bags if you're going to be using more. And this is, I make sure that I have a mask on, and then I just add, it's going to be more of the dry ingredients than water, so it's going to be mixing quite a bit. But I would way rather have too much grout than not enough and have to mix more. Maybe one more. Thanks. I typically eyeball the consistency. This looks a little bit loose, so I'll be adding more. Check the bottom. Looks good. Now I'll let it slake for 5 to 10 minutes. And then I just give it a stir and I'm ready to go ahead and grout. That's putting it together. Thanks for watching. See you next time.